and welcome to the most peaceful place, where the fruiting plants and animals roam free. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of them, as they make this piece of haven very enjoyable for all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming to Peaceful Village. Hello, nature. How are you today? Yeah, we got so many beautiful plants behind me. This is South American zapote. We have some type of theobroma here. Probably, I'm not 100% sure what type of theobroma, because it's, yeah, moretas, all kinds of, yeah. Today's video is very important. I had this asked to me or told to me by a friend. My friend asked me, well, I don't agree with building intentional communities in nature, because building intentional communities in nature, you have to destroy nature, but we have cities and towns that are already destroyed, so we should be living in those places instead of destroying more of nature. So I wanted to talk about this and say that, yeah, these cities and towns were destroyed. They used to be nature, and now they're not any longer. And so that's unfortunate, right? But all beings essentially came from nature, came from the earth. All beings came from the earth, came from nature. The government, the big people above us, they want us amalgamated in these concentrated places. I call these places concentration camps. Cities, towns, even big villages. I call these places concentration camps, because that's what they are, essentially. Many cities, at least before, used to have walls, and they used to be divided by walls. And so no longer happens like that, you know. Unfortunately, these places, that's what they want us. They want us in these concentrated areas because they can control us better. If everybody is dispersed out in nature all over the place, they can control us less, much less. And there's more surveillance in these places. There's less freedom in these places. There's more police in these places. There's more jails and more hospitals in these places. And so we are not free when we're in these places. Now, pertaining exactly to the question or to the statement, like we are destroying nature if we build communities in nature, and that's partially true, yes. Of course, for example, I'll give you our example. In Peaceful Village, what we did, we had to make a decision. There are some areas, many areas, that were already cleared. Of course, now there's a lot of high grass and secondary forest, but there was a lot already cleared from this land. At least, I don't know, at least 5-6 hectares out of the 22 hectares that we have, at least 5 or 6 hectares completely cleared in total. So here and there was a section, at least 3 or 4 hectares. Another, yeah, there was other parts of it that were cleared at some point. When we brought our tent to this place that we now call Tierra Libertad, it's a section of a land, because it's one whole land, but it's divided into different sections by rivers. And so we have this part of the land that we call Tierra Libertad, this part of the land at one point was all kind of secondary forest. To my knowledge and experience, it was already cut down at some point, even though the people before said that it wasn't, but it was cut down. Wasn't any truly ancestral big trees. And so we had our tent, but we were not living on the land permanently. We were in another place, and we were coming from time to time, and we were still renting from in another place. And so what happened was, at some point we left for a few weeks, and our tent was there. When we came back, we saw a tree fall. So the tree fell and was right beside our tent, just a few centimeters or maybe a few millimeters away from our tent. Imagine if we were in that tent, we could have been killed. So at the time we had a worker with us, and he said that it's absolutely necessary. He told us several times it's necessary to cut trees if you wanna start doing building here and planting and things like that. You need to cut some trees. We didn't want to cut even one tree. We were like, no, we don't want to cut any trees. We're not, just a little bit here and there, macheting, so we can make a little path or something. But we didn't want to cut big trees, even smaller trees. We didn't want to cut them. But then we understood, hey, it's necessary if we want to build an intentional community, if we want to have the basics facilities, and we want to grow some of our own food, or at least all of our own food, we're going to need to clear up a little bit, right? But unlike other places, other lands, other communities that clear everything, we decided, okay, please, we were talking to the worker, and we said, and this worker was excellent. He knows what he's doing. When he was working, and he was felling trees exactly where he wanted them, and where we told him to have them fall. We said, please, 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 just cut the very, very minimal that we need. In fact, there was more trees around what was now the camping site that we have, the water barrel and the camping site. He was actually had the inclination to cut a little bit of more trees, and because he left early, he didn't do that, and we didn't continue. We just kept the trees there. We said, okay, we're going to trust that these trees are still here. Now, on occasion, very, very rarely, probably a few times per year, when we have these huge storms where the trees are like swaying like this, they look like they're going to fall at any moment. But nature is intelligent. Nature is beautiful. Nature is just magnificent. Nature knows what she's doing. Gaia is incredible. And they know that our camping site is there. They know that our cabin is there. And they say, hey, I'm protecting you. You are protected. No tree is going to fall on your building. And if it falls on your building, it's going to be safe. My friend was saying, hey, you need to live in cities, so we're going to be more controlled, and we're going to be more invaded invaded in our privacy and so forth. They have cameras everywhere, and nowadays, even in small towns, they have a lot of cameras. Yeah, they're going to control us more and more and more and more. They can control us because it's a concentrated area. Even a mega city, they can track us, and they can do all sorts of things. But in the jungle, they cannot do that. And jungle is where we belong. We are born in nature. This is where we belong, in nature. Not in basement apartments and in crowded cities and these kind of things. in this place. Yeah, even if we clear a little bit, the whole idea is really to reforest it with a lot of fruit trees, native plants, flowers, other edible plants, tubers, leguminous plants, these kind of things. So when we deforest, and I mean here we didn't clear everything. We just did the very, very, very minimal in order to do what we needed to do. Somehow we can do it. We need more people like yourself to help. Volunteers, guests, community members, whoever can help us. But we're also here to help you in your healing. If you need food, whatever it is, you know, you don't need to be in these crowded, overcrowded places called towns and cities. Live in Pachamama and Mother Nature, baby. Yeah, so, yeah, we're not meant to live anywhere else but, yeah. But some people just may not agree, and they think, oh, we need to live in these artificial places. But truly, when we live in artificial places, we're getting more and more disconnected from nature. We're going further and further away from the spirit of Sophia. And so we need to get closer and closer and closer to God, people, which is us. God, everywhere around us, inside of us, everything is God. Everything is the universe. Everything has the essence of love. Because we are love. Nature is love. We're doing our best not to harm nature as much as possible. We don't kill beings. And we're vegans, of course. So we don't kill them, we don't use them, we don't steal from them, we don't do any of this kind of thing. But I saw a lot of videos a lot of documentaries that I did not like. Because I saw the indigenous people killing animals. Oh, they need to do that because they don't have anything to eat. They can plant whatever plant they want. Get the seeds, start planting, but that's what we're doing here. We are vegans, vegan anarchists, and so can you. If we can do it, you can too. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm Michael Lanfield from Peaceful Village, Raw Vegan Healing Community, and I would love to meet you and see you here in our place, our beautiful home called Mother Nature. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.